Hello viewers, welcome to my tutorial scam.net. Basically, I am planning to start my YouTube channel. So the purpose of having this channel, and I have planned so that I can contribute something to the society and the people. Basically, what I've learned and what I've experienced from my job day to day life. Basically, this is the motto and the slogan of my network and so on. So basically, I have designed or I have planned even for upcoming tutorials, and I'm starting with the C Sharp one. Being a .NET developer nowadays, the market is very fast in .NET field. Now people are moving in with the full stack and all, and they have started like we have started our schooling, like UKG, LKG, and so on, and we will move it to standard one, standard two, and so on. Then we going to colleges and all, and now we are doing our job. So like that, C Sharp is like you can consider it is your basic. It is the platform. It is the foundation. It will build a career basically. uh, as this is the first tutorial I'm giving the introduction, like I have planned in such a way so that a freshers till even the intermediate guys will be take the advantage of this course, so that I am designing in such a way. So let's start with the C sub tutorial, and this is my the first tutorial I'm representing you basically. So this is the introduction of the C sub tutorial and the part 1 and session 1 of this tutorial. So let's move on. C Sharp is a simpler, strong, and widely used object-oriented language developed by Microsoft. So basically, what this tells about, like, as we have many languages, as we move to procedural languages to object-oriented languages, like when you just came into the IT field, basically, I mean to say, I'm not talking about the your professional career and all. When you started and thinking of let's go for a software engineer and programmer, basically computer programmer and coder, so basically you would have started with the mother of any programming is called C, that is the basic one, and then we move to C++. So basically it differentiates between a procedural language and a high level language or object oriented language basically. Okay, so C sharp is one of them, and it is developed by Microsoft basically. Why it is object oriented language? Because it has to go through some of principles, and it has to justify some of principles, as you know, like it has some key features like abstraction, inheritance, polymorphism, right? So these are the things we are having, and we have to go for, like, uh, uh, we it has to it has to prove all these principles what a language should have basically, and we are going to discuss one by one. So let's start with this one, like C sharp. Okay, basics basically. So the language has approved by ECMA basically. So ECMA is the organization which basically whatever the languages comes into the market to which is developed by a particular organization, it has to go through the particular standardization and certification basically. So which officially allows us to, okay, let's go for this, and it should be available to the people, basically to the people, and to the as a software product it will be available for uh, for people, and the people take advantage of this basically. So it's the European Computer Manufacturers Association and ISO, International Standard Organization. Okay, so as I told, like, this has been developed by Microsoft. So why I mentioned, like, again and again, C Sharp is a simpler, strong, widely used object language developed by Microsoft, and the language developed by Anders Helsberg. Basically, he is the person who has developed this language with his team. Basically, when it got started, he led the team to just to successfully develop this particular language on behalf of Microsoft, and we are just learning and taking advantage of this course just because of him and his team. Okay, why this three term I'm just want to explain. Like, C sharp is a simpler, strong, and widely used. Simpler in the sense it has been designed in such a way that a one person can easily adhere to, easily learn, and go for the implementation. The complexity and the way of writing, the way of architecture, it has been designed in a very widely manner basically. And why it is strong? Because it gives more future. Nowadays the market is more dependent on such a language called .NET. Okay, and C is upon one of them. Okay, and widely used, obviously widely used, because lot of applications are building on top of .NET framework basically. Now what is you must be just interested to know like what is .NET framework and all about, and especially for freshers. Okay, those are just watching the video for the first time. Even in like any video which is available on .NET. Okay, so let's go on about have some introduction about .NET framework. Basically, .NET framework, I would say it's a basically it's a package, it's a framework, it's a design which has provided by the Microsoft to support and develop different type of applications basically. So like, so I have highlighted three of applications you can see, like Windows, web, and services. Windows is nothing but the desktop applications you are just going through, or even you are experiencing in your day-to-day life. Like, uh, just take any example, whatever the things you are installing, just let's suppose Microsoft Office, it is one of the desktop applications, right? It is called Windows application. And web is nothing but your websites. Okay, the application which runs on www, okay, by a protocol. And services is nothing but it is the one which provides some service. Let's suppose I'm just just to make you understand, I'm just giving an example. Like I one a company who is which has some information that can be available by multiple companies. So how A is going to say the data? Is it set the database connection string and all database access it will give to the company by having some contract? Is it fair? No, not at all. Basically it has to share a limited amount of information. So for that we are having the API, application programming interface, or the services, so that we can consume the service. Okay, and we can benefit it out of it. Okay, so what is the main advantage of having .NET framework is like, it not only supports the language which is developed by only Microsoft, it has been designed in such a way that it is going to support C, C++, Visual Basic, C Sharp, COBOL, and so on. So very many languages is supported by this .NET framework. And the most importantly, we are having a IDE. So now I am just going to show you. Basically we are having an IDE, is called the, what IDE stands for again, it's a integrated development environment. Okay, so Visual Studio, Microsoft Visual Studio, now the latest version is 2019, and we are recording in the year of the same. And so this ID has an extensible feature to develop multiple type of application, very user friendly. And now it is available in form of open source. I'm not sure whether it is fully or not, but yes, Microsoft has come up with the open source concepts. Earlier it was not open source. Basically it has a dependency with the platform dependent, which is runs used to run in Windows and all. So it's all about. Okay, so let's move into the our first program is called Hello World. As you know, like every language has the common program is called Hello World. So let's move on, and I will show you how ID works. Okay, so let's move on. So yes, like as I told, like let's go for the Visual Studio. So let me press start menu, and here you just type Visual Studio. Okay, so I have installed 2017 version. As I told, like the latest version is all about 2019. But the thing is, see, Visual Studio as a come up with a license, it is not free. But yes, of course, Microsoft has given with a community edition which is free, and you can just download and just get benefited out of it. Okay, so Visual Studio 2017. So you just go to start menu and just search Visual Studio. Else you can simply just go to view, and you can just go for um, uh, the alphabetical order, and here we have like Visual Studio 2017. Okay, so let's start with. Yeah, here we are. Like this is the Visual Studio startup phase screen. Okay, before jump start, let me show you something. uh, this is the server explorer. I will show you when we will go for the database connectivity and all. Okay, and toolbox it won't appear initially. When we will load into project, definitely we are going to get it. Toolbox is nothing but it will contain the tools like form tools and all, which you can just just plug into your application and just get your job done. And here the solution explorer. What solution explorer basically loads, I will show you right now. It loads the solution and the project, entire project structure. And properties is nothing but, as you know, like it is a common one property of anything. Okay, so let's start with, so how to start a project. File, new project. So here you can see, right, I was telling, like the .NET framework has been designed to support multiple languages. Like here you can see Visual F Sharp, Visual Basic, like SQL Server. A lot of things are there, right? Okay, even you can just go for the online, and you can just go for many projects you want, and other project types also. Okay, and yes, of course, why it is a SQL Server? Is it supported SQL Server? Yes, of course it supports SQL Server. You can just run your query, you can get the database. Okay, so Visual Studio has an extensible support for running the database query and the database system as well. Okay, so let's move on. So as I told, like Visual C Sharp, and here you can see like there are a lot of project templates. So one by one we will develop and discuss. But now I'm going for console application. Okay, so here you can see there are two .NET Core. So as of now, don't bother about. Let's go for normal .NET Framework. Okay, so what would be the my application name? Okay, C Sharp tutorial. Okay, and let's go for a directory. Okay, so yeah, scam.net itself. Okay, yes, I'm just getting a folder called what I called. Okay. Let's suppose I'm just giving a name code. Okay, select the folder. So now which version we are targeting? So let's go for the latest version. We are having lot of versions physically, so now we are referring the latest one. So like when a new version is coming to the market, we are talking about like Visual Studio. We have a lot of versions. We have 10, Visual Studio 12, 13, and for 2015 to 2015 update 3, and now 2017 we are using, and the latest one is 2019. So basically they are not only just redeveloping or reintegrating the features with a new ID called with the version name Visual Studio version. Okay, different versions we have, but they are also updating the .NET frameworks also. Okay, so .NET framework, and why the .NET framework course is getting updated, it is the common one. They are adding more features, they are enhancing the bugs what we had, the drawbacks what we had in the last version. They are improvising basically. Okay, so let's go for the latest framework version is 4.6.1, and there are two options basically: add to source control. Okay, what is this option is all about? Let's suppose I'm just creating a project and you want to add to a source control. What is source control? Basically, source control is a repository, the online repository where your code can, you can store the code so that it can be available for the entire team. Let's suppose you are working in a project, you are doing some of part, and your one of the colleague is doing some of part, and one more is also doing. Okay, and many are. Okay, how you will synchronize your code into the same project solution basically? So it is more interoperability. So source control takes care of, and the common one we have like Git, SVN, and the TFS. Okay, so let's for console application, and this is the create a directory for solution. You want to create a directory for solution, let's go for. So it will create a directory. Okay, so it got vanished, not an issue. C sharp. Okay, we'll give like this C sharp. Okay, dot tutorial. Okay, let's give some programmatically name. Why it is programmatical, you would understand whenever you are going for project development tasks. Okay, so like this naming conventions are common in many IT organizations. They have been following up to create how to set up project basically by putting into a dot with the project name. So this is the standard, this is not a mandatory role. Okay, so it will take some time. Okay, so now we are ready with, so let me show you something like okay, so what is this all about? Okay, here you can see uh I just want to delete everything except system. We will discuss all the namespaces going forward. Okay, just make it simple. Static void main, as you know, like all program has an entry point. So main method is the one of them, like as you had in your C++ and all, we are having a main method, right? So main method is the entry point to anything, as you know, like it accepts argument of type string array. Okay, and of course access specifier by default in .NET, the access specifier to a class basically internal, but you can go for public, but I'm not going to declare anything as of now, so we'll discuss going forward. So let's go to the major one. Okay, so here I'm just want to write console. So here you can you can see I'm not I don't want to bother about much coding. I don't want to remember the exact syntax, the keywords. Simply the ID takes care of all this. So that's why we love this. Why Visual Studio is more preferable nowadays. Okay, console dot write. Okay, so you can see like right and right line. Any idea by looking into this pop-ups, auto pop-ups? Yes, of course it is a method. Okay, let's go for right line method. Okay, and just write hello world, and to hold down I want to do something read key. Okay, so that's it. Okay, let me run, and okay, before running let me tell you like how this hello world works basically. So here you can see, let's start with the line one, where you can see the using system. What using it is all about? Like using is nothing but it is a keyword which has a meaning to just import, just include a namespace to your program basically. Okay, so system is nothing but it's a namespace. Okay, if you want to see, you can go to definition. Sorry, it won't allow, but there are some namespace we can go with. Namespace is nothing but here you can see like one more is called csub.tutorial. As per the project name it has created, and as I told, like solution explorers will contain your entire project structure. Okay, and yes, of course, like namespace is nothing but it's a collection of class, interface. You would have heard all these things like interface in C++. So class, interface, structure, enum, and so on, etc, etc, etc. Okay, so it is a collection basically. Okay, so we are simply importing, or we are just including, in a simple English term, we are just including, so that whatever the function or methods, whatever the classes it has, it we can make use of, right? Console. Let's suppose, what if we want just put this using statement. Let me show you quickly. See, the name console doesn't exist in the current context. Basically, here the ID won't understand, the program won't understand what is console is all about. Okay, so in that case, if you are not going to use the system namespace, either you have to go for the fully qualified, fully qualified name, like system dot console. But why to just write lot of things to just make this happen? So it's not a good practice. Even I'm just doing undo. So let's go and use. Now moving to the class. Okay, as I told, like an enhancement can contain classes, structures, in lot of things are there, right? So as you know, like in object oriented, we are talking about means there is a class, right? So here class is nothing but it is a type basically. Okay, so which can contain methods and all. And main is nothing but it's a method of type static. Okay, why it is static? Because static, like the normal nature, we will go and discuss the all the principles what we have in object oriented programming language and its futures. Basically static is something like it doesn't require an instantiate member to be ready to just consume the member of that particular classes. It doesn't need to instantiate it, right? So that's why we are static, so that it can be called directly. So this is the one of the advantage we have with static. And as I told, like main method, it is nothing but is the entry point which is expecting, but we are not making use of. Okay, so let it be. So as I told, like console dot write line. Okay, what is console? Any idea? Again, it's a system class. As I told, this class is present in system, and system is nothing but a namespace. Like we have a user defined namespace called csub tutorial, and we have a class called program, and we can have a method also, like what write line have. Okay, I will show you in my next video tutorial what I'm talking about. We can have like this. We can just create our own namespace, and it can be used in a different file. Okay, that I will show in my next tutorial basically. So write line is nothing but it's a method which does some functionality. It accepts an input and provides an output. Let's run. So before running, we need to build basically, right? Just right click. So we have a single project. If you are having multiple projects, you can create and go for a build. Okay, so here you can see build. So it is building. It is building the entire project. Now once succeeded, let's run. How to run this project basically? So here from build menu also you can you can also build the project solution. Okay, so there are some menu items, like here from file you can add and all. basically. Okay, so once we will start with or we can go with the more tutorial, you will get to know this is simply intro, so don't bother about, and I don't want to make you people clumsy. uh, let's go as simple as that. Okay. Okay, so here go to menu, debug, start without debugging and debugging. So let's go for F5, start debugging. Either you press F5 or click on start debugging. And what is the difference between start debugging and without debugging? Without debugging means simply it will just create the environment to run the application, but the thing is you can't debug. And if you are just running with debugger, so that you can debug and you can just do the activity to rectify the code errors, everything. Okay, so here you can see it is all about hello world. So here we are good to go, and the cursor is blinking because we have this one console.read key. Okay, and I'm closing this, hit enter. Okay, it is expecting, no, it is not expecting the character because I have not typed anything, right? Okay, I simply pressed escape and it is just gone. Okay, so as we were discussing, like hello world program, here you can see the same program I just given it a snapshot, and okay, so the description we were discussing, like the using statement, what is the use of this using statement, how to use this. Okay, and the name says, and what is the use of main method, and all it's all described, you can note it down. Thank you viewers, thanks for watching this video, and this is the end of my first session video. Just keep watching, and I am just uploading the next video soon. And yes, and please subscribe to my channel skm.net.